Now we are going to talk about how to economize energy in one's everyday life. We see in everyday lives that people try to economize energy, but because of emotional tension, more in a subconscious way, you find a lot of situations where people are in a state of emotional stress. I mean that someone, for example, has a kind of difficulty in one's work or one's family, and one try to find a solution with this situation. But as this problem is more in a subconscious way, one can't take this problem and have it in his eyes in a front way. I mean, it works in his mind in a subconscious way, and the situation you find a situation where a person is more or less in emotional stress, and people who are living around him or her can notice that this person is not really relaxed. And when you are in this kind of state of emotional stress, you are in a state where you lose energy because you try to find a solution but not in an active way or positive way. It's more in a passive and subconscious way. So in this way you can't really have correct state to find this solution. So you lose energy, and in this state your feeling and your kind of reaction towards situation is not the same. I mean, you can find a situation where you have two people, one who is in a kind of emotional stress and the other one is more relaxed. And when you see a person who is in a kind of stress, you can notice that his own reaction can be a little bit tense and a little bit difficult for the other person. We will also see it in a family situation. When you know in a family people know each other and knows how one is functioning more or less, and you can see sometimes that someone is saying to the other, I don't feel you in the same state as you are normally. It means that the person is more or less in a state of preoccupation. So now, in this moment, the other one tried to send and to give the other one a kind of feeling or a kind of cooperation to tell him that you should and you can come back to your state, your normal state, I mean a present state. But this technique, this way of telling to someone, you should come back to your present state and you should be more present, more connected to the situation. It can be useful, but sometimes it doesn't work because you know it's a situation where one is telling to the other one how you should behave, and sometimes it's not really correct and it's not very acceptable for the person. So we know, and we really know that by another way of doing things, I mean when you by your own behavior you show to the other person that being in a state of economizing energy, the other one can notice it. You're not saying to the other person you should economize energy, you should be more present and more connected to the situation. It's because by your own state you are showing this to the person will notice it in a very deep way and will have the possibility to catch a kind of information and a kind of energy will be very helpful for him. So you are not going to tell to the person how you should behave. You're more trying to give the person a direct information by your own behavior. It's like, you know, one have his own behavior is transmitting to the other person another kind of behavior. So it's very more useful and is more direct than being talking to the person you should do this kind of thing, which is not so useful. It's very correct. I mean, it's done by a very good and positive intention, but we are looking for techniques which was very good for people to help them. So we can see that by this state, by this behavior of being present, of trying to economize energy, you transmit this kind of behavior to other person. And when we talk about economizing energy, we're talking about a simple fact which is very helpful for everyone. The fact that when one learns more and more in one's everyday life to economize energy, by this I mean that when you're in a present state, you can notice and you can have this capacity of absorbing energy by different contexts. I mean by something which is very beautiful, a sound, a behavior, an idea, different points where you can find energy. In this state, you can absorb more energy and you feel this state in a positive way. But in the other hand, when you're in a state which is more a state of emotional tension, you're not in a present state. I mean, you're not connected to the situation. And in this state, a part of your brain is not there. A part of your brain is in a state where is trying to find a solution to a problem. But as it's a subconscious way, you don't really have the capacity of getting a correct solution. And at the same time, but not being enough present in a situation, your capacity of absorbing energy, of being connected to a situation, is not so high. It decreases. It decreases. So, at the same time, a person who is trained and knows that by economizing energy, at the same time, you are really absorbing energy. So, it's a very useful way of living, of being, and not be in a state where you feel tense, you feel a kind of loneliness, which comes from the fact that your behavior, a part of your brain, is not connected to the present. A part of your brain is in an area, which is an area of difficulty, professional difficulty, family difficulty, and this part of the brain is trying to find a solution. But as it's not in a present way, I mean, if someone take a paper and, for example, notice I have this problem in my work or in my family, and in this moment one try to find a solution or to think of a possibility of solution, it can be very more useful. But if it's not only a part of the brain which is not very present and subconscious, now you get a situation where you lose energy. I mean, a part of the brain during the day, as you are in your family, in your work, is trying and losing energy by thinking about the situation, about the problem in one point of view, another point of view, and it makes like a little sound in the brain, boom, 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 boom. And this thing is not helpful. So, in the same time, you lose energy in this way, and at the same time, you are not really connected to situation, and you are not in the state where you can make a good thing for you. I mean, making a situation where you absorb energy, when you make a correct contact with situation, and at the same time when you have the possibility to find a solution for your own difficulties. Because the solution for one difficulty don't always come by a thing that when one is getting obsessed about a problem or situation. We know with time, with experience, that solution for a problem don't come in the way that one can expect. I mean, you more and more you are present in situation, more and more you are connected and you are absorbing energy. It's a way of getting and being more and more close to a solution for your problem. It may sound a little bit strange, but really, when you are more and more present and connected to a situation, you absorb a kind of energy which can be helpful for you to get and to have a solution for your difficulty. So, trying to find a solution needs that one is more and more present to situation, and at the same time one is more and more in a state of economizing energy and is building and making a real solution for different difficulties.